You know that feeling, right? When you're arguing with your friends about who the real GOAT is, or you get actual goosebumps when that surprise theme music hits? Well, if you do, then you get it. Wrestling is so much more than just a show. And today, we're going to break down a brand new project that's built on that exact idea. It's called Wrestle Talk Smack Walk, and it's all about being a platform made by fans for fans.
Okay, so right out of the gate, they're making a huge statement. I mean, in a world that has a million wrestling podcasts, they're saying this is not just another show. They're calling it a movement, a community. That's a pretty bold promise, right? They're aiming for something way bigger than just content. They want to be a real hub where fans can actually connect.
But, for a movement to really take off, you need people you can believe in. So who's actually steering this ship? Let's get into the creators, because their whole identity is wrapped up in who they are.
And this, right here, is where that whole authenticity thing comes from. These hosts, they're not ex-wrestlers, they're not industry insiders with all the backstage gossip. Nope, they're just fans, probably in their 20s, who grew up completely captivated by all of this, just like us. Their whole perspective comes from the couch, from those late-night debates with friends. And honestly, that's what makes it so relatable.
And every fan has that one moment, the one that hooked them for life. For one of the hosts, it was the absolute chaos of the Shield's debut, that powerbomb through the table that just screamed a new era was here. For the other, it was the raw, brutal impact of a Sheamus brew kick. It just goes to show you, two totally different sparks can light the exact same fire. So that passion, that fan-first approach, it's literally baked into the name of the project. But what in the world does Wrestle Talk Smack Walk actually mean? It's a bit of a mouthful, so let's decode it.
When you break it down, it's actually pretty brilliant. The name is literally the four pillars of what makes wrestling great. Wrestle, that's the incredible stuff they do in the ring. Talk, for the promos that give you chills. Smack is all about the drama, the rivalries we live for. And walk, that represents the entire journey, the grind, the legacy. It's such a clever way to frame it because it covers every single thing that we, as fans, love to talk about and argue over.
Okay, so the philosophy is solid, the name totally makes sense, but what does that mean for us? Like, what are we actually going to get? What's the content they're promising to deliver?
Well, it looks like they're planning to cover pretty much the whole spectrum of being a fan. They're going to do deep dives on those legendary, iconic moments, but they're also going to get into the nitty-gritty of the business today, like the whole WWE versus AEW thing. But the key here is that it's all through a fan's eyes, totally unfiltered, totally passionate, and yeah, they're going to embrace the memes and the jokes. That's how you know they get it.
And this isn't just a bunch of ideas either. They've actually laid out a full-on roadmap for their first season. It's called Rumble Chronicles, and we get a sneak peek.
Oh man, just look at this lineup. They are not messing around. They're tackling the biggest stories right away. The entire transformation of Roman Reigns, the whole bloodline controversy. Then they're hitting the Mount Rushmore guys, Cena, The Rock, The Undertaker's streak. And they're still covering today's stories like Cody Rhodes' journey and the impact of the Shield. This lineup just proves they're ready to dive headfirst into the biggest, most heated debates in wrestling from day one.
But this whole thing feels like it's about more than just a list of topics. There's a deeper mission here, a real why behind it all. So why does this fandom matter so much to them, and what are they really trying to achieve?
And here it is. This is the core belief driving everything. Wrestling isn't just some scripted sport to them. It's a universal language, a way of telling stories that connects people from all over the planet. So this project, it's not just about analyzing matches. It's about creating a home for that shared connection, a place where this huge global community can finally feel like they have a voice.
Wow, this final quote, it just pulls it all together perfectly, doesn't it? Their vision is to build a space where the past is honored, the future is debated with passion, and, this is the most important part, where every single fan feels like their voice actually matters in the conversation.
So in the end, they leave us with this question. If wrestling really is this epic, ongoing story, they're asking us, they're asking you, not to just sit on the sidelines and watch. They're inviting every single one of us to jump in, share our passion, and become an active part of the story ourselves. What a way to end it.